fully understand the dangerous threat that is Petr Yan, let's look at his fight with Urijah Faber. A performance in which no mercy was a step ahead every step of the way.
It's not about power, it's not about speed, it's about precision and technique, and he's really a master of striking.
Petr Yan is truly a master of distance. Every time Urijah feints, Yan reacts ever so slightly. His body twitches almost at the exact same speed as Urijah's movement. A punch incoming, slight step back. A kick incoming, steps just out of range. He's carefully analyzing the Cali kid's movement while he's setting his traps. How? Feints. Feints that will later become setups. In fact, even some of his real punches are effective feints. He throws them without expecting them to land, in an effort to draw the counter from Urijah. He knows it's coming, but he wants to look for an opportunity, a weakness. When he goes for the huge overhand, he's clearly not thinking it's going to land. He just waits for Urijah's right counter, he ducks under it, and there, he has a plan. Second round. Yan has already identified Urijah's weaknesses for setups. First, Urijah often tries to deflect or parry Yan's punches with his hands. What's really dangerous is that he has that tendency even for feints. Second, Faber is often dipping his head while throwing hooks. Third, Urijah tends to overextend his attacks, and doing so, he becomes vulnerable to the clinch. And fourth, when Faber is exiting the clinch, his hands are low and he's not protecting himself. Believe it or not, Petr Yan intends to use all of these weaknesses to his advantage, and he will do so in the third round. Third round. This is the moment for Petr Yan to cash in on his investments. At this point, Yan has already hurt Urijah twice in the previous round, but that's not enough to put a guy like Urijah away. To apply the finishing touch, Petr Yan is going to use 4 amazing setups in quick succession. Using Urijah's weaknesses, Yan is going to always be at least one step ahead. First, Yan feints the right, Faber tries to parry it, weakness number 1, and drops his left hand. Then, Yan executes the same feint, but with a head kick right behind it. The left hand drops on cue, but the strike doesn't land clean. Yan follows up immediately with a combination, as he's always ready for his next move, but Urijah manages to retreat. Second, Yan gets close to Faber and he loads up on a front kick. Faber doesn't react and stays stationary. Yan already knows that Urijah will be tempted to strike because of the short distance between both fighters. He also knows that Faber will probably lower his head while throwing, weakness number 2. Yan gets a bit closer to make Urijah bite and strike. As soon as he does, Yan launches the front kick and misses by a hair. Beautiful timing, not the expected result. Third, this setup was used by Yan numerous times in this fight. Petr initiates an attack that he knows will not land. He punches the air intentionally while keeping a good field of vision to see Urijah's counter coming, knowing that Faber will probably overextend himself, weakness number 3. Once he identifies the attack, he ducks under it using a shoulder roll cannon technique. Then, he grabs the single collar and digs his head behind his opponent's opposite arm. For defense purposes, Yan keeps one hand close to his chin, in case there's a knee or an uppercut coming. Inside the clinch, Yan stays tight and in control, preparing his next move. Fourth, the finish. Urijah is caught flat-footed. Yan breaks his posture with a hand to the back of the head. At that point, Yan knows Urijah is going to try to exit the clinch, probably with his hands down. To guide him to the right spot, Yan makes his knee as obvious as possible. He knows the threat of the knee will force Urijah to exit the position. He also knows that Faber isn't going to be too concerned about getting his arms up. He just wants to get his head out of knee range quick. But the knee was never the plan. As soon as the knee is up, Yan initiates an amazing leg whip. Urijah is still feeling lucky to have evaded that knee, and he gets hit by a toenail right in the face. Just a brilliant technique. The knee is literally going up, and the final whip is done with a very slight angle. Extremely deceptive often equals extremely destructive. The Cali kid goes down. Now, I personally believe that the kick was the plan all along, but it's hard for me to be 100% sure when a legend like Dan Hardy says otherwise. Nonetheless, I have a few reasons to believe that that attack was prepared in advance. 1. Yan knew Faber's tendencies when exiting the clinch, and that fake knee would have been the perfect way to trigger the desired reaction from Urijah. Second, Yan is a transition type of guy. I think that if he wanted to throw a naked knee, he would have done so as soon as he broke Faber's posture, not when Faber's head was already down. It's also the way he guided Faber into the knee. He made it as obvious as possible, and he knew Urijah would see it coming. What interested Yan was the way Urijah would get out of the way. What do you guys think? Was that kick planned or improvised? Anyways, Petr Yan is a special fighter. He does so many things in so many different positions at an elite level. It seems like the only way to beat him is to be super unpredictable. Petr Yan is a relatively unknown beast, and that's why he needs our help. If you want people to know this monster's name, share this video.